Welcome, everybody. Tonight, I wanted to talk to you guys and share a little story with y'all about how things have been uh, in our family the last couple of years. It's been about 2 years ago this November, actually, 2 days before Thanksgiving. Me and a couple of girls from the YouTube world were sitting backstage talking, and I got a phone call telling me my husband had went down at work, and he was on the way to the hospital, and he was non-responsive. He had a massive heart attack. So got off from backstage with the girls, and my niece came and picked me up a couple hours later, and on the way to South Carolina we went because he was working out of town at a nuclear facility, and um, had to drive about 4.5, 5 hours away. And me and my sister-in-law and brother-in-law got down there, and my husband was exactly what they said, unresponsive. By the time we got there, they had him hooked up to the breathing machine and all that, and we didn't know if he was brain dead or we didn't know. We just knew they had resuscitated him about 9 times. And y'all, that changed everything for my family. Yeah, I mean everything. I Hey Deanna, hey Echo. Thank you for stopping by, baby. Good to see y'all. But it changed everything for us. He's a fairly young man. He was just had just had turned 60 at the time. Hey Alexa, but he had just turned 60, and all I could think is, I don't want to lose my husband. I don't want our children to lose their father. I don't want our grandkids to lose their granddaddy. I don't want his brother and sister and daddy and his family to lose him. And I prayed and I prayed and I prayed. And they put a pacemaker and defibrillator in him because he was 100% blocked. They said that it had to be a miracle that he was still alive, because only like 3% of people that had what he had makes it. So their reason is it had to be a miracle. And it was a miracle. They had no explanation, because his heart wasn't getting blood the way a man's heart needs to get blood. And his body had started creating little, you know, blood vessels and veins. And that to me is a God thing. That's not a doctor thing or anything. That's a God thing. No. So I know that there's modern day miracles and blessings that God gives us. And that man laying in that bed is a miracle. And you know what, Echo? There was a lot of prayers going out for him. Y'all were praying for him. Other people were praying for him. People at the job was praying for him. His family, everybody we knew was praying for him. And I never thought something like that would happen. I never thought about it, you know, but it did. And I'm telling you, y'all, if you don't have it right, you need to get it right. If you have hardship with your family or loved ones, make peace with it. Don't don't let silly stuff keep you from having those last moments with them that you could have with them. Because tomorrow's not guaranteed to none of us, you know. And yesterday, I had to take him back into the hospital because he had been having some issues, and it just had progressively got worse for a whole week. And I finally said, nope, I'm not playing around. We're taking him in. So I took him. And when we got there, there was no parking spaces, even close to the emergency room. None. So I had to park way out up on a hill. And it was pouring down rain, y'all. And we walked down, and we had to go back up a hill. And as he started taking a step to try to go up the hill, he went going face first. And I grabbed him by his belt buckle in the back, and I held on to him. And a gentleman came out of nowhere and drove a car right up and flung his door open. And he got out and helped him in his car and took him on up to the front. And the whole time they were driving up into that hospital, he was praying for my husband. Y'all, a stranger. God will send you an angel when you need one. He don't never leave your side. He's always there. So for people who say there's not modern day miracles and there's not angels, y'all, they don't know what they're talking about. There he is. And God sends them, because that man yesterday was an angel to my husband. He got my husband in the front of that hospital. He went out. He got a wheelchair. He helped him in the hospital. And it was pouring down rain, so I just kept on walking, and I got in. And they took him straight back. That hospital room was packed with people. They had a lot of trauma patients yesterday because there was a lot of wrecks because it was bad rain, y'all. But they took him right back. And he sat in a wheelchair in the hallway with all these other sick people, you know. And he got up, walked out of that hospital last night, and had no broken bones. Because we were worried that the bottom part of his spine, he had maybe had a crack or something in it. Because he's got some fairly significant, serious spinal injuries. So we were worried about that, but he was okay. My point is, he got to come home. He got to come home 2 years ago. Well, almost 2 years ago. And he got to come home last night. And God had angels that day at that job where my husband was at. And he sent an angel yesterday. So my point is, there's modern day angels and miracles. We have them every day. It's just people fail to see it. That's right, baby. Home sweet home. Hey, Jen, how are you doing, baby? So, and you know, I appreciate you, Jen. I appreciate Deanna, Echo, and the people that come here and they support us and pray for us and love us. And I support, I support you guys. Me and Kenneth pray for y'all. We love our family and our friends. And one of the reasons why Kenneth and I made this channel is so our children and our grandchildren, our family, would have something like, as long as YouTube's here, they can have something of us if, something happens. The grandkids can always come back and see Pawpaw, or Granny, because they call me Granny. I'm Granny, That's right. Detail they don't see because they don't believe. That's right. And that's sad. It's sad that there's so many people who have zero faith when every day they wake up is a blessing. And they have miracles. People say, I've had people say, well, I don't have gas. I can't go here or there. And the next thing you know, they're there. Well, they're there because of those blessings. They get to go there because of all those blessings they get. Probably not deserved either. Myself included, I've done it. I've lived a good majority of my life not being grateful or as grateful as I should be for everything God's provided for me. So I'm guilty of it. I'm guilty of not being, the greatest person, the greatest friend, the greatest mother, the greatest wife, the greatest sister, the greatest daughter. I'm guilty of all those things. But I know that the good Lord above loves me, and, I need to be more faithful to Him. Above everything, I need to be more faithful to Him. But I just want, to let people know, if you don't have it right with people, even if you have to feel like you're tucking your head between your legs, sometimes it's better to swallow your pride and try to mend fences with people, because it is not worth either one of y'all feeling bad if something happens later on down the road that's unexpected. Because you don't never know when God's going to call you home, ever. It might be today, it might be 10 years, 20 years, 30 years down the road. But everybody gets called home. But that was what I wanted to share with y'all. And to let y'all know that how much you mean to us. It means everything. It means everything to Kenneth whenever, he gets to hear you, especially you gals talking and, seeing us backstage and or on the channel visiting and stuff and seeing all the comments and, the fact that people actually do care. There are people who still care. And it's humbled me a lot, and I appreciate and, respect you guys, and I value our friendship we have. And I just want y'all to know that, But on to other topics, because I'm not going to sit here and cry all night. I'm gonna share some tips with y'all. Okay. Does anybody have anything they want to say? Anything they want to talk about before I get started on that? I'm looking. I don't see nothing. I don't see no good questions, or I don't see no questions. or anything. I see some good comments. It does change you, Grandma. It really does. And the other day I was thinking about that. You know, you said he was only 48. That's young. That's Didn't you say he was 48? Or were you 38 when it happened? You were 38 when it happened, right? 40. He was 47, but you were 38, right? Because you were real young. Um, that's young. I mean that your 30. Yep, your 38th birthday is when it happened. And you guys, she lost him on her birthday. Her husband, Detail did. That's, I mean, I don't even know what to say to that except for, she's a strong woman to have put up with the things that she's had to go through, you know. And I haven't met her in person, but just talking to her and, the little bit of communication we've had, I have got mad respect for that lady, you know. That's right, Echo. Less stress of don't hold on to bad feelings. Just let it go because it doesn't do any good for you. You know. But um, yeah, we really need to. He is doing better. He's trying to go to sleep right now. He's curled up in bed. So, and he's actually able to lay down now flat. Before he couldn't even lay down. He was literally hunched over like more than, like that. Like when he was walking like an old man. Echo, yeah, my heart goes out to people who lose people they love too. Um, it's not an easy road, especially if it's your spouse or your child. No parent wants to bury a child, especially a child, a small child. And no wife wants to have to bury your husband. No husband wants to have to bury his wife. You know, they all hope they're the ones that go first so they don't have to live through it. Um, it's hard. It's hard burying a parent, but you think it's more natural to bury your parent than it is for the parent to have to bury the child in the natural order of things. But, God may have something different planned, or things. He's going to help you deal with whatever happens, you know. Because y'all, God doesn't make bad things happen. He just helps us deal with the aftermath of the bad things. You know, I believe the devil is what causes affliction and disease and pestilence and scourge and hate. That all it comes from the devil. That isn't just does not come from God. But God is who helps us get through all those things. She did lose her daughter in August. That's right. She sure did. So yeah, that would be. I couldn't imagine, Echo, if I had to go through that. I think I would be loopy, you know. But yeah, but But anyway, I am going to share something with y'all. Yeah, you're loopy. Yeah. Well, okay. We're just going to be in the loopy club together, honey, because I know I'm loopy. It helps keep me happy, though. I'm a happy person. Loopy is okay. Everybody's a little loopy. Only people who are really crazy say they're not crazy. Just saying. Yeah, just saying. Okay, y'all. I'm going to share something with you guys. Y'all probably already have figured out, Deb is on a tight budget here always. Okay. But you know what, Detail? Me and Kenneth watched that together. I left a comment on there. That's serious stuff. Anxiety is a lot of people think that's a joke. They're like, oh, you'll be okay, get over it, you know. And I'm thinking to myself, you ain't never had a panic attack or struggle with anxiety, obviously. I, that's just not nothing to play around with. Yeah, I can imagine that situation right there with your daughter passing and the way that she passed and the way you had to watch that unfold, Miss Chris. I can understand the best of my ability. I can understand how that could bring on anxiety, not even just anxiety, but depression. And, you know, I, I'm not no counselor or psychologist or nothing, but I have enough common sense to know that most people that I know, that would be the last thing that they would want to have to deal with. Yeah. Yeah. I bet you did. I know we talked about it. We touched on it briefly about, how you struggled, but I couldn't imagine. I think that I would be, you know, kooky booky, you know. And I imagine you have your moments where when it's getting close, you know, that you go through the ringer. And I don't see how anybody ever gets over that. I don't think you could ever really get over it. So, yeah, I can imagine, you know. I know I never have lost a physical child that I gave birth to, but in the womb, you know, several of them went home, and I say, well, God gave me my miracle child. They said I would never have, and I got to have him. And I got the beautiful blessing of getting a daughter because my husband had a daughter from, his first marriage. So I got to have a son and a daughter. And I get to have grandkids, and that's a beautiful thing, But I guess I was only meant to have biologically one child. So the only loss that I can say I've felt is the loss of an unborn child, several times, but I try to, I guess it's easier for me to not really think about that too often. It's not that I don't, it's that I, you know, I guess it's easier for me to put it out of my mind. So, but but I'm gonna share some I'm gonna share some savings with you guys. Well, this past week I was thinking, I want to try to keep my spending of like groceries and stuff as low as I can. So I went and looked at my pantry and said, well, what do I really need to get? Not a want, a need. And I was running low on, onions, but I had plenty of like scapes and stuff in the garden. And I lost my potato crop because of all the rain. So I had planned on, hopefully having some potatoes soon, but that's not going to happen. But that's okay. So I started looking around for sales. And what I found was I was able to get 9 pounds of onions for $5. And I was able to get 15 pounds of potatoes for $5. And I got some bananas. And y'all, I got a thing of cornflakes. And I paid $15.67 for 15 pounds of potatoes, 9 pounds of onions, some bananas, and some cornflakes. And the reason why I got the cornflakes is because, I do not want to buy cereal that has a bunch of garbage in it. And I have came to the realization that literally cornflakes is about the only thing that I could find that does not have an elbow and arm of ingredients that I can't pronounce. So there's that one. It literally is $15.67 on that receipt. Okay, and that was my and I did get a gallon of milk, but I had to get it from somewhere else. It was $2.67. So I stayed under $20. Okay, for groceries. Now, as y'all know, I told y'all I had what they call Care Pass at CVS, where you pay $50 a year, and then every month you get $10, and you save 20% on anything that's CVS brand. So I had my Care Pass, and I also had $5 in extra bucks from where I had got stuff last month and earned extra bucks, and they were going to expire today. So I realized when I was at the hospital yesterday with Kenna, I was looking at my account because they sent me a reminder, and it said I had stuff that was going to expire. Alexa, thank you, baby. Thank you. And I send you a virtual hug too. But no, really, if you were here, I'd give you a big old hug. Um, but so I didn't feel like shopping and looking so much. I couldn't, think hardly. So I said, well, I don't want to just let those extra bucks expire because that's like throwing money out the window. So I went, Bella Hush, it's just Michael, baby. So I went in and I said, well, I'm going to see if I can find some clearance items. And that's exactly what I did. I went in there and I found some Japanese cherry blossom stuff that I can put in Christmas gifts that was marked down. I found this body spray for men by Fila that I picked up for my husband because, y'all, he drowns himself in cologne. I don't know why. And I got Pop-Tarts for them. I got one thing of blueberry. Well, no, I got two things. One thing of blueberry. Is it blueberry? One thing of blueberry.
Live?
And one thing. No. I said one thing of cherry.
What are you doing? Video?
Yeah.
I want to cut that out.
What? What?
I want to cut that out.
What did I say?
I'm talking about where I just interrupted you.
You're fine, baby. I'm live. It doesn't matter.
You're live?
I'm live, yes.
Who's watching?
4 people. Now he's making him something to eat. He's making a sandwich. But anyway, 2 boxes of Pop-Tarts. They're not the greatest thing for anybody, but they like them. And if I don't buy them, my husband's like, you didn't give me any Pop-Tarts. So I got them some Pop-Tarts. And I got these Nivea lip balm things. Although I can make my lip gloss and stuff like that, the Nivea is actually a decent brand to buy, you guys, if you got to buy lip balm or anything. And they're good little gifts. And it's 98% natural. So, okay, there's cherry Pop-Tarts and there's blueberry Pop-Tarts. I call them blueberry, but it's blueberry, excuse me. So, anyway, but I got 2 things of peach Nivea lip balm. And y'all,
I got jelly from the mountains.
You got jelly from the mountains. Let me see. Oh, let me see it. You're done?
I'm not done with it.
My son got some jelly from the mountains. But anyway, so y'all, I paid out a total of
Butter that bad?
no, $8 off of a store credit thing where I had got $20 on credit from buying a $50 gift card. Okay. So I literally spent no cash. But if I would have spent cash, I would have paid out $8.23. Because the rest of it was with coupons and with extra gear bucks. So, and these were clearance down. This was clearance down. And the Pop-Tarts were $2, 2 for $4. And these were, I got a $4 extra care buck. And I rolled it in to get the Pop-Tarts. You know what? I'm not a Pop Tart eater, but my husband does like the brown sugar and the chocolate ones. So, but y'all, I didn't spend. I spent none of my cash, none. So, just saying, it pays to get that extra care at CVS. And if you're buying something that's CVS brand, you also get 20% off of that no matter what it is in the store. It's okay, Jen. I'm sorry your internet keeps going out, honey. They do. They put them in the toaster or the microwave for like, in the microwave for like 30 seconds. And then the toaster just till it gets toasty. So, yeah.
You got any cinnamon sugar?
Um, no, I don't have any more, babe. You want me to make you some real quick?
I'm all right. Okay.
Hold on a minute. Let's see. Hold on a minute.
No.
You sure? Look to your left. Look all the way to your left. See that container that says Kirkland's? Cinnamon on it. Okay, just let me know. Okay. You warm them in the toaster too? Yeah. My husband likes them in the toaster. Well, he'll eat them in the microwave too. So, but I don't know. They say they do. I don't eat them. I don't eat Pop Tarts. So, I mean, I guess they do. You don't let them cook up in there. Detail, I was trying to convince Kenneth to go to Jersey Mike's and get a BLT because of the bacon.
Steak and cheese is the best thing to eat from there.
And Michael said steak and cheese is the best thing to eat from there. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, Alexa, I don't know what's the best. I don't know if.
Steak, cheese, banana peppers.
Oh, he said steak, cheese, and banana peppers at Jersey Mike's is the best. And I'm saying that bacon, lettuce, and tomato is the best at Jersey Mike's because of all that bacon I've been seeing you eat from Jersey Mike's. So I want to go get some of that bacon.
Don't be messing with my jam now.
I won't.
That was a gift.
I won't eat it, baby. I got my own jam. I got like tons of jars of it.
I paid Julie for that jam.
I understand, baby.
Oh, you can have some. Don't forget.
No, it's okay. I got plenty of jam.
You gotta try it. It's actually pretty good. Y'all get some of it.
I love you, baby.
Bye.
I love you, baby. Night, night. Okay, pudgy pies were always yummy. You know, the iron that you put 2 slices of bread in with your favorite filling in between and make it over the campfire. You know what? I'm going to tell you what. I made, y'all, when I was first, I made some grilled cheese with an iron a long time ago. A literal cooking iron. Yeah, that's right. What you think is best. That's right. And I think them bacon, lettuce, and tomato is best. They can have all that steak they want. I want my bacon. Me and bacon is friends till it gets in my stomach. Yeah. Yep. I literally made me some grilled cheese. And the funny thing is, I don't even like literal grilled cheese. I would rather have like cheese toast where you make the toast and then just put the cheese on the top of it and melt it a little bit. But gotta do what you gotta do. So I made grilled cheese. Yeah, I like bacon too. But y'all, I got me a head of cabbage today because you know what I'm gonna make? I'm gonna make some more lumpia and egg rolls. Just saying. So I got me a head of cabbage. That was that was another thing, but that didn't come out of my money, my budget, my food budget. I had some change left over from the other week, and I got this. So you got to get more. Well, won't you just shuttle me some over here from your job? I would love to have me some of that bacon because that looks yummy, yummy, yummy. Every time I watch you eat it, I want some bacon. If anybody here has not went to detail where my mom yet, okay, so the woman details a day, and then she goes and works at Jersey Mike's. Um, yeah, she lets me when I visit her, eating all that bacon. I don't know who, I don't know where, and I came up with the idea about using the iron, making the grilled cheese. I think Daddy did it one time. I think, but I could be wrong. I really don't remember. Yeah, probably my daddy. Yeah, my daddy would stick anything on a stick and hold it over the fire outside. He took a beer keg. I kid you not. He bought. I was like, Daddy, what are you gonna do with a beer keg? I was like, what's my daddy getting into here? Is he making a steal or what? I was confused because he was building this big old metal box outside, and then he made the big metal box, but then he cuts a hole in the top of it. I was like, what is he doing? Well, then he sticks that. He took the beer keg and he soaked it in some kind of acid and cleaned it, and then he made these big old handles for it. And then where he cut the top of the beer keg out, he made a lid and made a handle for it out of rebar. And then he made the handles for the beer keg, the sides of it, out of rebar. And y'all, he was making a peanut bowl and crab bowl thing and a big old giant pot to you know, make to like boil peanuts in and your corn on the cob and all your vegetables and stuff you need to blanch. So you could put it in there and it would get done. So when you go to when you can it, it won't take so long. So yeah, he made a big giant pot out of a daggone beer keg. Yeah, yeah. That one sub chain that makes the quote unquote famous footlongs. Yeah, They can't touch Jersey Mike's. No. And I've seen Jersey Mike's food, but I've never had it. But I want me some. Well, welcome, welcome. All for his kingdom, welcome. Um, yeah, but okay, detail. It was beautiful, beautiful seeing you here, baby. I hope I get to talk to you later. And if you go live, I hope I get a ding dong thing. I keep having to check to make sure. So maybe at a ding dong this time. So, but you take it easy and thank you for coming, sweetie. But um, I lost my train of thought there for a second. Oh yeah, I was telling y'all about the big pot he made. He made this big old giant pot, and I remember one time he went and got a whole bunch of oysters, and I was like, "Are we going to like roast them on a pan or what?" Nope, we didn't roast them in the pan. We cleaned them real good, and then he said we're going to stack them in here, and we're going to put a little bit of water in the bottom. But before we stacked them in there, he took a rack, like a grating rack, and he put it at the very bottom of it. And when he put the water in it, it was still under the grating. So basically what it was is it was steaming the oysters that we stacked up on the top. And you knew the oysters were done because they started opening up. So yeah, beer can chicken is good from what I hear. I've never had it, but I heard it was good. Um, that was probably interesting. What else interesting have y'all had that you were kind of like, I don't know about that, and then you try it and it's like good? Um, let's see here. I'm looking to see what y'all got. Do y'all have anything in here? Anything interesting to share, food wise? Y'all ever had roasted street corn? I heard that was really good. But I've looked at a lot of different videos and it seems like everybody makes it a different way. I tried to make it, but I don't, the way I made it, I was like, I don't see what the big deal is because it wasn't the greatest thing to me. I mean, it just tasted like the, you know, Chex, what they call it, Chex mixed corn. Yeah, bacon for breakfast is good. I mean, bacon for supper like breakfast is good. Tater tot hot dish. You want to tell everybody in chat how you make tater tot hot dish so we'll all know? Because you kind of described it to me, but you know. Yeah, bread pudding is good. I like it with raisins and cinnamon on the top. Well, I like it with raisins in it and cinnamon on top. And pecans, I like it with pecans in it. No, and I don't say pecans, I say pecans. Pecan pie. I'm not a Grey Poupon girl. I'm a, taters and grits kind of girl. Ain't no Grey Poupon in my house, y'all. I could probably make some though if I had a guest that wanted some Grey Poupon. I can make that bougie stuff. I can make it homemade. They wouldn't know the difference. Yeah, bread pudding is good. Whoever came up with that way back when, they was smart. I got to put my glasses on. See, I got to look up at y'all with that, and then I got to look at y'all in the chat down there. So, would you like Grey Poupon? I'm having confetti. My mom cooked MOM that looks like a chicken. Y'all, look at how much I have left over from supper that I cooked tonight. I cooked, well, I don't know what you call it, but anyway, um, I took, Skipper everywhere. Um, I took, pan fried chicken, pan fried in olive oil, but it was breaded, so it's still pan fried. I made a pot of rice and made me some gravy. And then I put the chicken in the gravy that I had already fried. And I did open a can of corn. It was not out the garden. It was from the store. It was canned. And I needed to use it because it's going to expire. And some homemade cranberry sauce. But the cranberry sauce is under this. So, but anyway, that's how much was left, y'all, of that stuff. I couldn't believe how much it made off of 3 little chicken breasts. That was a lot. So, yeah. And I forgot to take the picture of the plate. I had decorated the plate all pretty and everything to make my little snapshot. And then forgot to take the snapshot and I put it on the table for Kenna. So, yeah. Nobody gets to see that little pretty picture. Because that pretty picture sitting in Kenna's tummy. So, oh well. But y'all got to see it. So, that's all that matters. So, just saying. Y'all think I should try to make the egg rolls tonight or should I wait? I think I should wait. Dart ball. Oh, man. That sounds yummy, but what is a dart ball? Never heard of dart ball. What is dart ball? What is dart? Y'all hear that dart ball? Have I been living under a rock all my life? because I don't know what dart ball is. I think so. Living under a rock. I've heard of dodgeball, but not dart ball. That sounds dangerous. Is that where you take a dart and hit a ball? Dart board. See, I knew. I, Echo, I knew. I knew. There was something not right with that. Now I can't touch this anymore because I coughed. Dartboard. Okay, a large wooden panel that has a baseball diamond on it. You underhand throw darts. Okay, now that makes sense. Okay, I get it now. Okay. Didn't before, but I do now. Okay, that makes sense. I'm going to read it again to y'all. So, y'all, audience, it's not chat that you, for viewers later. Echo says it's dart ball is when you take a large wooden panel that has a baseball diamond on it and you underhand throw darts at it. Dart ball, y'all. And you know what? I had never heard of cornhole till a couple years ago. And I said, that don't sound like a good game. That don't sound like a good game to play. And my husband says, well, I'm going to bring I'm going to get the boards. So it's like, boards? What kind of crazy game is this? You know? So he goes and he gets this 2 sets of boards, and they have these little round circle holes made in it with these little nets, and little beanie sacks, little sacks filled with beans for people to throw on a board that's kind of like sitting at a 45-degree angle up. And the deal is you try to take the little beanie sacks and throw them at the board, and they get in the little hole with the net, and it catches it. That's called cornhole. Y'all, I had called me cookie bookie, but I had never heard of that game. So, and you think living in the country, a game called cornhole, you would think I would know what cornhole was, and I had no idea. Just saying. Sounded kind of weird to me. Okay, if anybody is in chat or in here that's new, you're not subscribed or whatever, welcome. Hit the subscribe button and leave us a like. I would greatly appreciate it. Would be nice. And maybe if you keep watching, I might not sound so tongue-tied. Yeah, bean bags, exactly. Now they call them some kind of crazy, ergonomic something or another. And I'm like, ergonomic? Since when was bean bags ergonomic? They're dead bean bags. Just saying. I think they got to put a bougie term on everything that's like old school, they got to rename it and call it something, different to make it sound more sellable. Expensive to, I don't know. What's wrong with just telling people, hey, take you a board, cut some holes in it, and take some beans and sew it up in a bag, and you got a game. It would be better for them to just like sell the instructions on stuff of how to make it. Because half the time what they sell in the store is going to fall apart anyway because they don't make it worth the flip no way. It just, yeah, it's pretty much garbage, disposable stuff you're paying for. Yeah, you know what I like? Whenever we would have like the little games and stuff we do at church, you know, I always had fun doing that. What I really like doing now is doing the little pie cook-offs and stuff, where everybody makes a different kind of pie. And y'all, I'll be telling them I'm making an everything pie. Everything or anything. That's always the name of my pie. Everything or anything. That way I ain't gonna tell them what kind of pie I'm making. Because I don't never know what I'm gonna have or what I'll be in the mood to cook with, or what I'll have. So I just tell them everything or anything. I don't know. Does that make me crazy? Yeah. Just saying. And whatever casserole, because it's whatever I'm going to make. Everything but the kid. Oh, and there was, I called it kitchen sink casserole. I made one time. And I got the recipe from some other lady that I knew. I don't remember who I got it from. I got it from a lady. I know it was a lady. I didn't get it from a man, but I got it from a lady. I know that much. But it was literally called kitchen sink casserole. Yeah. And I literally substituted just about everything that was in it except for the cheese. Because I didn't have any of the ingredients that they had on the recipe. And I ended up making it with way less ingredients than what was on the recipe. And that thing was and it looked horrible when I made it. I was like, oh man, this is not going to taste good. Y'all, that was one of the best casseroles I have ever made or ever ate. And I cannot remake it because it had a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And I can't remake it because I didn't write anything down. And to be honest with you, as horrible as it looked, I really thought I was going to have to throw the thing in the compost pile or feed it to my dogs. But it actually turned out really good. Or, well, actually, my neighbor's dogs, because at the time I didn't have dogs. Yeah, monkey ball. Yeah, yeah. I remember monkey ball, monkey bars, monkey everything, because we all acted like a bunch of monkeys. That's probably why they was naming everything after monkeys. Because y'all, how many of us as kids was always wiping? I mean, acting like. I mean, we literally did act like a bunch of monkeys running around. Have y'all seen how mean a baboon is? Them things are mean. They'll throw, poo poo and stuff at you and laugh at you. Ugh. They're not the nicest critters. Now, I think we need to leave them out in the wild and let them be. The, a lot of the zoo stuff, I'm just not a fan of it. I I can understand taking in animals to like that are dying or sick or injured, and letting people come in and look at it and observe it, kind of like that kind of zoo. But when I was little, I used to always feel bad for all those animals that were caged up. Just, I'm not a fan of that. No. Yeah, exactly. When we were kids back, the 60s, 70s, and early 80s, youngins growing up, yeah, we was some knuckle bleeding, knee scraping, you know. Remember how you'd fall and you get all the little dirt clods in your little dirt pieces in your hands when you fall and catch? You were smart enough to catch yourself and keep your face from hitting the dirt. You know how many times? Yeah, I'm surprised I got the end of my nose because I'd catch myself, but I'd always end up hitting my daggone nose on something. It could have been a briar from over here or there. Not even where I was falling at, but something that would come out of nowhere and grab a hold of my nose. Yeah, I was forever falling. I was a klutz. You hear me? Hey, I'm still a klutz. I don't know if y'all caught it or not, but the other day on the live, I put a paper towel right here on this thing over here, right? But I had the burner going over here, and it was getting hot in here, so I went and turned the air conditioner on. Thinking, oh, well, cool myself off in here. Well, the wind from over there, from the air conditioner, hit that one little towel that I pulled off because I was making the egg roll lumpia stuff, and I wanted to sit it on a paper towel to drain any oil that was still on it off. Yeah, that paper towel slid over there and caught on fire. And I'm sitting here, I just grabbed the thing up, that was on fire and took it over to the sink. I guess I'm so used to being klutzy and everything that's just kind of like everyday stuff like that happens. So I just, take it to the sink, put the fire out. So, just saying. I sanded a hole in my, I'm not giving nobody no bad gesture. I literally sanded a hole in my middle finger right there. Right there. Because I decided I was going to make me a turbo sanding block. I was going to make my own version of an electric sander. So I took a block Kenneth had cut from outside, and I wrapped sandpaper around it and took some of them zip ties and, put it around there and, yeah, and glued the edges of the sandpaper on the side. And then when it was dried, I took the zip ties off. Well, yeah, I was sanding and sanding and sanding. And y'all, I sanded so hard, that thing got hot on the side and was scraping up against my finger. And I felt something hot and I was snatched real hard. And when I did, it ripped all of the skin, 2 layers down, all the way off my finger. Yeah, blood everywhere. I was like, that hurt. So, yeah. Sometimes I just, yeah, um, get into what I'm doing and kind of, yeah, get myself into a little pickle. Yeah, you know what? Them little pyro brothers and sisters people have. Yeah, he should have been the one getting in trouble, not you. Because playing with fire ain't funny. You know, it's dang, yeah. He should have been having his butt spanked instead of you. Yeah, yeah. You shouldn't have got in trouble for trying to keep him out of trouble, keep him from getting hurt. And you tell him I said so too, because next time you talk to him. Yeah, all the animals should. I just noticed what you said. Yeah, all the animals. I wanted to set them free too. I got in trouble one time because we were at my mother's parents' house, and he had peacocks, and I mean there was peacocks roaming around in the yard. So y'all, I didn't think nothing about this. Okay, well, I opened up a gate, and I left that gate open. Well, I left it open because I had seen the peacocks and stuff walking around in their yard, and they had several other like chickens and other stuff, um, geese and oh, hold on a minute, what's them little things that are so annoying we have? They're so loud they won't hush. They'll eat ants or anything. I can't even think now. Anyway, um, they're black and white speckled, most of them. Anyway, I left that gate open. Well, I let his pigs out too, and I don't know what the peacocks that I seen were doing in the pig pen, but it was the pig pen I opened up. And I tried to explain to them that I seen peacocks and that there was peacocks in the yard. But yeah, I let the pigs out and guineas, yes, guineas, Echo. Yeah, yeah, guineas. They, oh, yeah, guineas. But and guineas can get mean too. Ooh. I I told Kenneth, I said, next time they gonna be in a pot of rice. You hear me? I'm gonna learn how to cook them. I ain't never made them guinea, but they'll be they'll be a pretend version of chicken and rice. That's all I'm saying. Um, but yeah, so I got in trouble for leaving that gate open. But in my defense, all I seen was them peacocks, and I thought the peacocks had got locked in or something. So I was gonna let them back out. I said, "Come on, babies," and they didn't come. So I just left it open because I wanted them to be able to get out. But I let the pigs out too. So I got in trouble. And that's where I learned if the gate's shut, leave it shut. And I learned that at a young age. So now if my eyes was better, I could just look at the chat and glance at it and then look right back at y'all. But unfortunately, I'm about half blind. Yeah, they do have peacocks as watchdogs down here. That and guineas. And I'm like, pick another pet, please. Them things are louder than a dog. And dogs will hush. They won't. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, you know, guineas, they are, if like we had a bigger place, I would not mind having guineas and peacocks because they are very good at maintaining the insect population. Like, they'll help you get rid of some unwanted critters, but not do no destruction. Oh yeah, well that's gonna happen. That's gonna happen, Jen. If people have that sticky stuff up, any animal can get on it. You know that. And if you, yeah, the sticky stuff. Why was a fly trap outside? That don't make no sense. A fly trap should be inside, not outside. Unless it's one that birds and stuff can't get in. And that's crazy. Who did that? Who would do that? Yeah. No, but around here, yeah, the peacocks and the guineas and stuff, a lot of people have them. But I'm one of them. Except for my pets, I really don't want to keep farm animals that I can't eat. Just saying. Like now, my hens, my layers. I don't eat my layer hens. I let them live their life out, and then I bury them, and I let them be fertilizer. You know, because they provided me all those yummy eggs, and I want them to be able to, finish out their life because they are they turn into my pets, and if they have a boo boo or anything like that, I take care of them and I get close to them. And when I get close to an animal like that, and y'all, unless I was starving or somebody in my family was starving, I would never want to eat one of my lambs. And I've had a lot of people tell me, it's farmers, well, you're too soft to be, raising animals. You're too soft. Well, and that's probably true. But yeah, them fly traps are, yeah, they're, I think the fly traps work better than those mouse traps. I'm just saying. Oh, okay, well, yeah, still though, the birds can get tangled up in it, so that's crazy. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't do that. I mean, you know, I've seen plenty of bird feeders around that don't have sticky fly tape hanging from it. Yeah. Oh, Deanna, it's okay, baby. You got family, honey. Go be with your family. I mean, I would love for you to care, but girl, I'd be spending time with my family. Just say, excuse me, y'all. But now, what did y'all think about that? Did y'all think that 15 pounds of potatoes was good for $5 and 9 pounds of onions for $5? I thought that was pretty good. Woo, Bill. Well, I'm glad you got to come, Deanna. I really, really enjoyed your live tonight. That was real good. That was some good stuff. You know what? That lesson learned, Jen. Lesson learned, baby. I get it. I get it. I have made a lot of mistakes in my time with putting out different stuff here. Yeah. You. The first chicken pen that I ever made was a horrible design. I almost broke a chicken's leg. That poor thing, I named him. Well, he eventually healed up, but oh man, yeah, I had to make it a different leg. Just saying. At least you didn't maim nothing, you know. And it's a good thing you were able to, clean it up and help it. Deanna, what time are they leaving tomorrow? Early or are they getting to spend the day pretty much, or do they have to leave in the morning? You know what, Echo? That was happening a lot about 2 years ago, and now, no. Now it's pretty good. Matter of fact, since you say that, I got a tater right here in my hand. Good tater, good other half a tater. See that? And my goodness, y'all. You know what I want to do now? I want to put this tater in my microwave and cook it, but probably should. Probably need to wrap it up and stick it in the refrigerator. Because it's 12:30 at night and I have no business eating taters at 12:30 at night. Just saying. I don't think anybody, unless they're working night shift, has any business eating taters at 12:30 at night. Hey, OG, how are you doing, baby? You think that's what they're doing? You think they're putting, do you think they're using color? So you think they're using color or something to hide the bad spots? You know, there for a while they were putting them in. There was a guy that grows them around here, and he was selling them in paper bags, just like you. I guess he ordered a whole bunch of paper bags, and y'all, them things were good. You got a bag of dirt along with it too, but just saying, they were dirty. But he said, or not he, the man at the grocery store told me, he said, the funny thing is, keeping the potatoes in the dirt actually helps preserve them a lot of times. Have I ever? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have. OG, yeah, but if you have something like that, you need to keep an eye on it, honey. Sounds like you might have an abscess or something. Now, I got me some BPA-free plastic wrap. Well, you can get a sore in your mouth from, like, I know one time I was eating with a fork and somebody walked behind me and hit me on my back, and I literally stabbed myself in the back of my throat with my fork. And it got really sore. And yeah. I mean, I don't know if it got infected, but I kept it washed with warm salty water, and I used that old school brown looking Listerine. Oh man, I'm sorry, babe. I used to have a habit of biting my cheeks whenever I was a little girl. I had some kind of nervous habit. Oh. My sister bit her fingernails and I bit my cheeks. I do this all the time. Especially in that crease right there going to your lip. Right there. to do that all the time. Yeah, warm salt gargle rinse. That'll help. I think it'll help. Not giving no doctorly advice though. I ain't no doctor. I'm just saying it'll. I think it'll help. If anybody's here that hasn't been here before, welcome, welcome. Um, Leave a comment and like, share, and subscribe. Share it with your friends. And if you like it, like it. You know, if you want to subscribe, subscribe. We'd really like to have you. If your dad's a type of doctor, ooh, you know, any type of doctor is, yeah. Well, I don't know. There's people that have doctorates that say they're a doctor. I know a lot of famous people that say they're doctors, and I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't go to visit them at their clinic or whatever they got for nothing. You hear me? Nothing. Oh, a chiropractor? Oh, what? Chiropractors are useful people. Very useful. Just saying. Yeah, they do. When you think about it, OG, they're working with people's spine. That's where all your nerves go through from your brain that controls all the movement for the rest of your body. I'd say that's a pretty daggone serious job. Just saying. And you tell your daddy I said so. That's a serious job. And my husband especially appreciates his chiropractor. So I wouldn't be able to be in the medical field. I'm too. I can't handle looking at human like blood and stuff. Cannot do it. I wouldn't be able to handle if like they're, especially if it's like um, involving a child, like if a child's hurt, or if I see like a bone sticking out, or guts hanging out, or brains, or tendons, ligaments. I can't handle stuff like that. I can. Oh, right here in the South. I'm not telling anybody who this chiropractor is or any of that stuff on the computer base. But he's got a good chiropractor. But I wouldn't be able to do a job like that. Oh no, I'm not in your. Well, where are you? Yeah, you're not in North Carolina. You're not in the South, are you? That it sure can echo. Your back is not. That's what I'm saying. It's okay, OG. Don't feel like that, baby. It's okay. I was just saying, yeah, I don't. I'm just me, baby. If you ask me something and I don't want to give an answer, I'm not trying to be funny or nothing. I go ahead and tell you I don't want to say. Oh, North Carolina. Carolina country homesteading. It's in one of the Carolinas, and I happen to be in the north one. Yeah, yeah. Your neck, your back. Yeah, yeah. That's not nothing to play with. Uh, Over the past week of seeing my husband, yeah, and his back situation. That y'all, that ain't nothing funny to play around with. Just see a grown man, be brought to his knees. I have never been adjusted or nothing. I've never been to a chiropractor. Nothing. That's probably what's wrong with me. I need to go get my back cracked. Maybe my brain will open up and I won't be so. Whoa. No, I mean, y'all might help me be a little bit smarter. You think? I'm just saying. I think it's Midwest, personally, in my opinion. I think Oklahoma is Midwest. I mean, that's what I would think. I remember they had the OKC, the guys that did the racing and stuff on TV. Yeah, yeah, that's not anything to play around with. Do they? Well, I know people say that, OG, but I mean, to me, I think it should be considered Midwest. Yeah, flyover country. Yeah, yeah, pretty much. That is what people call it, flyover country. Yeah, my eyeballs itching. You know what? I get it, OG. I get what you're saying. You know, but I mean, there's people that's in the north that I know where they're just you know countrified as me. Now they don't have my accent, but they're very countrified. You know what I mean? And you wouldn't know. You can't look at somebody really and tell, gee, they're from the north or the south or whatever. It's usually only until they open up their mouth that you can tell. you know. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Depends on the part of the state. I know. Because there's people in North Carolina that were born and raised here, and they literally sound nothing like me. They even tell me, "Oh, you sound so southern." But they'll be the very ones calling me a hillbilly. And I'm like, man, I'm from the coast. I was not raised in the hills. But you call me whatever. I mean, it don't bother me none. So, because I'm not trying to change how I talk or nothing, you know. Yeah, it does. It depends on the person's opinion or whatever. I get it. I get it. Night, night, Jen, baby. You take it easy, honey. Thank you so much for coming. I love ya. ML, that must mean much love. Oh, that was sweet. Okay, y'all. Now, what do y'all have any good ideas of what I should make next whenever I do a live stream? Anybody got any good ideas? Well, OG, I would say you're more. People would say you're probably more southern, but like I said, I know people that's in the north that have cowboy boots, hats, whatever. I mean, those things I don't think make you southern. I think that just makes you countrified. Yeah, that's true. Well, when where I live, okay, people don't really wear cowboy hats and cowboy boots. Where I live, most everybody wears ball caps and like work boots, because everybody does like hard labor work and farming work and stuff. They have on mucking boots and stuff because if you're walking around in pig poo or cow poo, you're not going to be wearing cowboy boots. Yeah, walking through cow poo. I'm sorry. You're going to be wearing mucking boots if you're smart because why would you want to ruin your good boots? I'm just saying. So, good night, honey bunnies. I love you. So, I mean, I'm just saying, I don't think even that makes you southern. You know, your type of clothes don't, I don't know. Countrified to me is just, the boots and everything, I don't know. I mean, that's kind of one of the things where it's like, everybody's got their own version of what southern and being country is. I just know, leave my grits alone. I won't. If anybody tries to take my grits, I'm not going to be a happy person. My grits and my biscuits. That's all I know. That's all I'm saying. Just don't mess with my grits and taters and my biscuits. I had to throw my taters in there. Exactly. It's funny, ain't it? Mm-hmm. You know what, OG? Baby, I get it. I'm just saying around here, yeah, and stewed tomatoes. I'll frisk in it. Yeah, that's exactly right. My stewed tomatoes. Leave my stewed tomatoes alone. But okay, OG, around where I live, anybody who wears cowboy boots ain't wearing their cowboy boots in no hog poop or no cow poop or in no swamp. They would one be saving their cowboy boots for a nice day, for church, for going out in town. They're not going to wear them on the farm. They're not doing it. Okay, just say, you know. Oh yeah, yeah, your chili, yeah. No, baby, I know what I know you're not trying to argue. I'm telling you, these people around here, they're funny about their shoes and stuff. That if they do, if they're lucky enough to own a pair of cowboy boots and a cowboy hat, they're doing everything they can to try to preserve the life of them. Because most of us don't get to buy stuff like that and just keep replacing it. They try to make it last as long as they can. And that's considered more of a church clothes attire or going off attire. That's not. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm just saying around here it's more of dressy up clothes. The boots are more dressy. It's not looked at as a wearing around the farm thing, you know? You know, but people need to wear what they're comfortable in, you know? And that's just the way it is, baby. Well, yeah, I get it. And see, that's the thing. You know, you're not going to, you probably, now there might be some cowboy boots and stuff that maybe are waterproof that wouldn't, you know, get water in them. But, you know, like you say, you know, you're going to wear your Crocs and stuff through mud. So, I mean, you know, you know what I'm saying. Yeah, and see that around here they don't, baby. Around here they okay. Around I'm gonna tell you something. Around here, if there's anybody that's wearing cowboy boots and you see them in the store and they got mud on them, most of the time it's somebody who they don't work a lick. They're just out having fun and their mommy and daddy bought their boots or somebody else paid for their boots and they didn't have to do nothing to work hard for them or something. Most people around here, it's literally, you don't wear your boots walking through mud and stuff. We have muck boots that are fairly expensive for that. And those cowboy boots and all that are considered more of our finer, you know, you take care of them type of attire. Yeah, I get it, baby. I get what you're saying. And the fact that you know how to polish your shoes and your boots is a good thing because most people don't. And most people don't realize putting polish on them helps them be waterproof or more waterproof. You know, they don't even realize that. That's right, Echo, and that's the one of the very reasons why. Because they're one expensive and two, it's hard to find a good pair. I know, baby. I understand what you're saying. OJ, I get it, baby. I get it. And if you know, if your mom and dad goes out and they put a lot of money into something for you, you should try to take care of it for as long as you can and make it last. You know, you know what I'm saying. So just try to make that stuff last. And a lot of people say, well, his daddy's a chiropractor. He makes plenty of money. But see, that the thing is, that's not even the point. The point is, it don't matter how much your daddy does or don't have. The point is, if he goes out, him and your mama goes out and they, you know, get you nice things, you should try to do the nice thing and take care of it. That's right, Anna. You got to wax them on real good to keep them waterproof. Because it don't take but that one crack to ruin everything. Well, y'all, we're almost hitting up on 2 hours, and that was my You know what, OG? I get it, baby. I understand, baby. And eventually, you know what? You'll have a job. You'll get a job. You'll eventually get a job. But right now, while you're still young, your job is to do good in school. If you're in school, do good in school, and take care of everything that your parents give you. Okay, everything. So, see, growing up, I got one pair of shoes a year for school, and I was lucky if I was able to get, something other than hand-me-down shoes for church. So, I learned real good at how to take care of shoes and clothes and everything else. So, final thoughts, anybody? By me and OG's talking about cowboy boots. And see, that's a lot of responsibility. Doing the chores and cooking dinner, that's a big responsibility. So I'm sure when the time comes for you to get a job, your parents will help you find a job so you can make you some extra money. Okay. Anybody got any final thoughts? Okay, I'm looking through chat. So, well, OG, that just kind of means you're going to have less cooking to do now, don't it, babe? You know, what you mean, baby? You're done. Baby, what you done? What do you mean you're done? I'm done, I swear. What do you mean? I don't understand. I'm confused. I don't know. Oh, okay, babe. I get what you're saying. Okay, okay. Well, if Detail Grandma goes, well, okay, wait a minute now. If Detail Grandma goes live, I'm hoping I get to see you there so we can all say hey to you, darling. Um, but you know, your job right now is to you know, you do your good grades. Okay, okay, I get what you're saying. All right, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and close the room down because I was trying to keep my time at under 2 hours. So I'm going to go ahead and shut it down. Thank everybody for coming tonight. Okay. And I want you guys to just have a blessed night. Have a good week. And I hope to see you all soon. Take it easy. And thank you so much for coming. Mwah.